picked me up, dug his claws to my chest, just tore the flesh open. Now that should have killed me. I thought, why am I still alive through this? I should be dead. But you can't die. See, death does not mean cease to exist. It means separation from God. Spiritual death is separation from God. So you still exist in this body. I noticed I had a body. Matthew 10:28 says, fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Remember Luke 16, the rich man, he lifted up his eyes. He wanted a drop of water to cool his tongue. He had eyes, he had a tongue. So you have a body, but it withstands these torments. But I noticed there was no blood or water coming from the wounds. You know, normally you see blood, but there was no blood or water. But Leviticus 17:11 says the life of the flesh is in the blood. Well, there's no life in hell, so there's no blood. And Zechariah 9:11 says, thy prisoners out of the pit where there is no water. There's not one drop of water in hell. And David, these creatures have no mercy over you. These demons hate you. But we know Psalms 103:17 says the mercy of the Lord is upon those that fear him. Well, they don't fear him in hell, so you don't derive the benefit of mercy. And about this time it went dark. Now I believed it was God's presence there to illuminate it so I could see, to describe to people what it looks like. But then it resumed its normal state. Absolute pitch black darkness. But we know Lamentations 3:6 says, he has set me in dark places as they that be dead of old. Or Jude 13 mentions blackness of darkness forever. But it wasn't just dark. You could literally feel the darkness. And that's not an exaggeration. Exodus 10:21 mentions a darkness that may be felt.
What do you mean you could feel it?
Well, it's so evil and so dark, it just penetrates through every cell in your body. It's not just dark like here. You couldn't see the hand in front of your face, and the whole place is filled with evil. And you just feel it. It's like Exodus 10:21 mentions. I was taken out of the cell. I was placed over next to this large raging pit of fire. Now, it was God that took me out, but I didn't realize that then. I was just placed over next to this pit. And this pit, I understood, was about a mile across with real literal flames raging high up into this open cavern. And David, this is where I could first see people. There were thousands of people inside this pit burning, on fire. And that's the most awful thing, is to see a person on fire burning. Most of us have never seen that. But there are thousands of people screaming. And the screams are so loud, you want to get away from the screams. You know, if you've ever heard a person scream, well, there's thousands, but you can't. For all eternity, you have to endure that, you know. But Isaiah 57:21 says, there is no peace, saith my God, to the wicked. And Isaiah 32:18 says, my people dwell in a quiet resting place. Well, you're not his people, so you don't derive that benefit of even quiet.
Wow.
And but to see people on fire, and there were demons shoving people back into this pit. But more importantly, the real fire. Jesus talked about fire. In 18 of those verses, he talked about hell. He mentioned about the fires of